all in all, having a pretty bloody successful season up to this point. Second in the league, not anywhere near the title, but can't really expect much more than that. Also, maxing out our capacity in the Europa League is extremely important to get all that extra cash. It's weird because today we've basically already wrapped things up, but we still need to focus on the Europa League just to get that extra points and also those extra money over the ground. But today, we also have the little issue of the transfer window coming up in January. And our money situation, despite being in great situation financially, we're still a bit behind on the wage budget, and I am worried that the board might start to take that into their own hands. Oh yeah, and there's also a Youth Intake preview coming up. God help us all. If you have been enjoying this series up to this point, do be sure to smash the like button. That would be fantastic. Helps other people find the channel, and you guys always do such a fantastic job. So keep it up, and thanks in advance. Today, we get to start off perfectly, actually, in the derby with Esbjerg. Now, they're having a bit of a weird season where they started off a bit shaky, but as a result, lately, they have really forced their way back into that fight again for 4th spot. And they're only 4 points behind us. Their goal difference is certainly nowhere near what it was last year, where they were absolutely smashing teams left and right. They're certainly very much off the pace on that one, but nevertheless, this is not going to be an easy fixture by any means. There's still the little matter of whether Midtjylland could even qualify for the next stage of this, because at the moment they're still only 4 points out. They do have a better goal difference. It's kind of weird that they're even down there. They're still considered the 4th best side, so I do think they'll get in, but they've got such a huge deficit to everybody else. I can't see them making any real challenge for the top 3 spaces. Esbjerg, on the other hand, you never know. Putting them in the mud today, though, could make a lot of difference. And you might notice from glancing at our team there that what's that? Some lovely faces on our young team. Well, that's because I finally got around to running the Z-Gens over the players, so we actually do finally have the faces for them for the first time in this save. So there you go. You can now finally feast your eyes on the beauty that is Georges Eboulé and other players. And while we're here, you might as well have a look at Georges Eboulé. I think he's been really solid for us so far. He is wanted, of course, as you'd imagine. 11 caps for Cameroon so far. I've really enjoyed his work for us. I think he's been an excellent signing, particularly for the price that he cost. He is wanted by someone, which is not really a huge surprise, and it's always Mulder. It's always Mulder. In addition, I've offered Jacob Turnison a new deal because he's now on the verge of caps for Denmark. He's been in the squad a couple of times and hasn't got one yet, but if he does get a cap, then his wage clause will kick in. And I feel like now's the perfect time to get him on a new contract that basically equals the same as his wage clause, but allows us to get an extension on him for like a year and a half or 2 years or something. So I've got that on the table for him right now, and that's going to put us even into a more difficult wage budget problem. And I'm really worried about January because it's really hard to build a squad when they just don't give us the money. Hopefully next summer it won't be such an issue, particularly if we can get Champions League again and we've still got 8 million in the bank at the moment. This is probably going to have to do lineup wise, I suppose, really, with Carlson on the left and Okoye coming in there, Silla in the advanced playmaker role. Abule's knackered, Yalanen, I would rather do it like that and then have Silla on the left, Gomez on the right, and then Yalanen sitting further up. I think that makes more sense for us at this point. Luckily, we do have a game midweek, but it's against Dalum in the cup, and I'm going to try something out because I've had another thought about tactics, and you know how well that went last time. What are we saying? What are we saying about this? So this was pointed out to me on stream yesterday, I think it was actually, or it might have been in the comments, about how perhaps the reason that we weren't having the same success when we had the third midfielder was potentially because it was pushing our 2 attacking midfielders too wide and it was interfering. So I do kind of wonder if we had someone like a Regista sat behind them, whether that would actually solve that problem, and also get to use a Regista in a tactic. And it's been a while since I've used a big Registi boy, and I do wonder if that might be something we could try out against Dalum in the cup, just to see how it works. I don't know. I'm curious, right? We'll go back to this for now, though. But interesting times. We've actually been in excellent form lately. Undefeated since I made those weird tactical tweaks and then changed things back again. So there's clearly something really solid about this team at the moment. And I do feel like there's still ways it can be improved. But I think really at the moment, it's all about personnel and improving the team that we've got. And right now, I still think we should be a strong favourite to try to get that second spot away from Nordsjælland. It does feel like, once again, it's between us two for that one. Then again, the gap to Copenhagen is still only 6 points. They've still not lost a game this season, but it'll come, hopefully, to us. Silla to deliver a nice one here on his left foot, and oh, it's Jokanovic! Wow, that is some header from Nikita Jokanovic. I don't know where Carlson was, but nevertheless, it's Esbjerg 0, Sunniuska 1 in the derby. We love a derby win. Putting a lot of early pressure on Esbjerg, and a second goal here could be key. Silla, what a pass! Alasini Silla tried to slot Stephen Okoye in there, and he should have scored. I think one of the things we did really well last season was creating a random gap out of no... What? Okay, well, apparently we've created a random gap in the referee's brain too, because that surely didn't look like a penalty to me. It's Diaz to take the penalty and save it. Oh, no, on the rebound. Wow. Okay, that's a rare one. You very rarely see the rebound slotted away. John Diaz, I think that might be his first ever goal for us there. It's 2-0 to Sunyaska. We didn't have Pritchard or Abule on the pitch. I find with centre-backs taking penalties, they miss way more often, even if their penalty stat is absurd. Sorry, penalty attribute, which makes you wonder what the point of a penalty attribute is, as we almost immediately concede there. But 2-0 in 22 minutes. 22? Where did I get that from? No, it's just about managing this for the rest of the game, I'd say. Gregory Jacobs can whip a hell of a corner in, though, and that's a great ball in, and Traore... Well, there it is. Speaking of great Traores, it's Partey Traore, and it's back in the game. Yeah, we're still a bit sus with these. We are in front, but without looking particularly emphatic. One thing we have done well, though, is keep hold of the football. Now, most of our XG, though, would have come from the missed penalty, followed up by the follow-up shot, which then, of course, was scored. In fact, I'm surprised that didn't generate more XG than that, honestly. There's a guy at the far post to aim for them, but luckily we should be fairly safe on this one. Maybe not, though, as Traore gets his header off the crossbar. Bloody hell, defend better. But he really does seem to perform better in Europe for us overall. Closey to the byline, good ball in. Gomez might win this. Oh, bloody hell, that nearly crept in. Carlson is just lethal wherever you put him. Silla's ball. Carlson's in there again, and it's saved this time. Steenberg Johansson drops it down. Ibule off the bench now. Williams around the side for Steenberg Johansson. He's done it. He's finally done it. I brought him off the bench instead of Pritchard because Pritchard just needed a rest. And Steenberg Johansson, that is such an important goal. And he is a scorer of very important goals for this team over the years. Oh, just wasteful from Westby there. And this could cost us. And now he's put a tackle in, and what a save from Caron. Very, very pleased with that. Esbjerg 1, Sunyaska 3, to come away to our biggest rival, who were directly below us practically in the league, and come here and look genuinely like the better side, completely, and do a fantastic job. And also, AGF with the late equaliser against Nordic, that is massive as well. I think we deserve the win. They definitely got better in the second half, and Caron did a really good job at just denying them chances, really, and we were actually able to take a few of ours, admittedly from the penalty spot and with the set pieces, but Steenberg Johansson does what he does. And in even better news, as you'll see there, AGF's late goal from Engel gives us a 3-point gap now over Nordsjælland, and of course now extending our gap over Esbjerg back to 7 points. It feels like the gap between the top 3 and those teams below has finally started to expand a little bit again now, as they're sort of falling over each other currently. Midtjylland were beating Orby, but that's again more points being taken off of those sides, as Silkeborg now get a victory. Holy God on a bike. I just, on a complete whim, decided to ask the board to up our transfer budget, because I'd already asked them to up our wage budget to try and help me manage that a little bit, because we needed more wage budget. They said no, that was ages ago, so I didn't mention it. They just said yes, 680 grand. Now, admittedly, most of that is going to have to go on the wage budget, because let me show you something. Yeah, it's not good, is it? As a result of like random extensions and players joining and little wage rises and stuff that were just inevitable, well, you can see the situation we've got right now. Luckily, though, this should alleviate almost all of that. In fact, yes. That's huge, because I was worried if we went into January with the board situation being as it was, like that, I was worried they might start selling our players if we were in a wage budget deficit, whereas now we've basically used their own money to get them off of our back. If you need me, I'll be over there rigging LIBOR. Do you want to see something fun? This is one of the most annoying things ever. This is the World Goal Best 50. Look who's number 5. Yeah, that's right. It's Georgi Patila. Look at the state of this human being as a footballer. Oh my God. We paid 2.9 million when we were at Tromsø to bring him to the club. Had him for a bit. He was excellent. The following season, they sold him to City for £8 million. £8 million. If they'd held on to him for another season, he would have been worth at Tromsø at least 60-70 million because of the way the player prices have gone up in Norway. And he moved to PSG for 108 million 2 seasons later. So we did manage to get through in the cup, and it took extra time, but I feel like that wasn't because the performance was bad. It was just a bit unfortunate. I tried out the new tactical idea with the Regista sat behind them, and I put Gomez there. And I'll tell you what, he eventually did end up gaining rating, but struggled a little bit in the early stages of this game. But what I would say is, it absolutely unleashed our 2 central midfielders. They were gaining rating hand over fist, just making runs. They had so much space. He was always available for little passes in and out of people. He wasn't getting in the way, particularly of the defenders either, but I do need to keep an eye on that. One thing I would also say is that when I brought on substitutes, I brought on Okoye and Diaz, who are neither of them are central midfielders, to actually play well, and they both started gaining rating. Even after like the 70th minute of the match, they both finished the game really, really strongly. So I feel like there definitely could be something to this, and I might test this out in the final 2 Europa League matches just to try it out, because it seems to maintain a lot of extra possession too. So it's an interesting thought, but it feels a lot better than the last one did. But we did get through in the cup, which is the main thing. Great goal from Gorda. Cut out again by Joao Victor. Really nice work from him. Williams. Here we come. Okoye to slip one through for Christopher Carlson on the end of it. It's FC Copenhagen 0, Sunyaska 1. I accidentally started the same tactic in this game, and then I just kind of committed to it once we were already there. And now we lead away at FCK. Birving. Ball in. Cleared away. Oh. It's a penalty. One of these ones. I think Joao Victor's allegedly shoved someone, but whatever. I mean, we benefit from the exact same thing against Esbjerg, so we can't complain too much as Atea slots it home. It's 1-1 here. Disappointing, actually. We've done okay so far. Pretty even game. Oh, it's a centre by Berger Hansen! He scored! It's FC Copenhagen 1, SecondYellowCard 2. We haven't created that many chances, but we've been gifted a chance there, and Berger Hansen scores another key goal. Keeping a lot of pressure on FCK. Look at that. Brilliant from Nielsen. Flying forward. Carlson's in the box, and he smashed it in off the crossbar, and it's 3-1. One thing I've noticed about this game is our fullbacks are intercepting so many balls to the wide area, and they weren't doing that before, and that is gorgeous. It's 3-1. I mean, I still have huge doubts over whether this is the right tactical idea, because we've got so fortunate today. We've scored every single shot on target in this match. It's not another penalty. It literally said in the text, cleanly tackles the ball, and we're given another penalty away. It didn't even say penalty awarded. It just cut straight to the penalty. That is absurd. Novo from the spot again, and it's another penalty scored by FC Copenhagen. All their goals today have been pens. Muggery of the century. I can't deny that. Now, admittedly, they look better than they were because both their goals were penalties, so that right there accounts for over half of their XG, but nevertheless they were still better than us, and we scored every shot on target, which is exactly what happened to us earlier this season. So swings and roundabouts and all that jazz. Carlson with a brace, Steenberg Johansson with one as well. It kind of worked. I don't know, it's hard to say. It wasn't on purpose that I started this. I just forgot that we had it selected from the last game, and once we were already in the match I thought, you know what, screw it, let's see how it plays. But great result for us there. Nordsjælland also grab a victory themselves as well, but still that brings us back into the title race. Only 3 points is the gap now. This is not over. Williams to drop another ball in potentially. Carlson's header in at the back post is Jacob Turnerson. Don't know if he's onside or not, but we do lead temporarily. Oh, we're still on. The play continues. Williams, can he stick it through for someone? It's Alasini. Silla drills it home, and this time we finally do score. Gladbach 0, SecondYellowCard 2. We have been amazing. This is one of the best performances I've seen for us all season, and it's away in the Europa League as well. 2-0 victory. But look at the output from the 27 shots in this match, 11 on target, 3.88 XG created. There were some amazing goalmouth scrambles towards the end of this match, which on another day they're easily goals. It's just one of those things where they were throwing bodies. They did have 10 men for the final 3 minutes, but that doesn't really matter. What I would say is the fullbacks were way better today, but look at the performances of the two central midfielders. Williams got an 8.6, and I think you can't really see it, but it was like a 7.9 as well for the others. They were both just on it today. Gomez just sitting there, holding the line, doing his thing, allowing other players to be freed up. Strikers looked a little bit out of sorts in places, but my goodness me, we look fantastic going forward in this game. Oh, and with that, we have now officially won the group with that victory away at Gladbach. We have to play HJK at home next as well, and I really want to test this out against them there too. See if we can go 18 points for 18 in Europe. That would be fantastic. Forced long though, which is good. Oh, come on. That is absurd. Don't you dare. Really? Really? I mean, there's 3 of you against 1 guy, and nobody thought to, I don't know, maybe I'll challenge this header. Imagine the scenes. I mean, I don't think we were brilliant in this game, make no mistake about it. It was a very even match, and then we just did that for some reason. I can't explain that. There's 3 of them, and not one of them goes, yeah, I'll probably just win this. There's 1 guy there. Now we'll just let him run all the way through and score. Just embarrassing defending, honestly. But not great this game, especially as that does now see us leapfrog the wrong way below Nordsjælland. And the worst thing about this as well is the fact that FC Copenhagen lost to OB, and we could have actually gone top of the league had we won this match. The gap is starting to get a lot closer. It's still 3 teams massive in it, and it's back-to-back defeats for FC Copenhagen as well. Maybe the Champions League is weighing them down a little bit. The gap between us and OB is still 6 points, but that is a frustrating defeat. I think a draw would have been completely fair up until that point. I just can't believe we did something so stupid. HJK are certainly no mugs, as we've seen in this group, honestly. They're a decent enough side, and Gladbach have really disappointed me. So I'll be very impressed with this. We should really, because Frankie Williams is already through, and Frankie Williams has already scored. It's 20 minutes gone. SecondYellowCard 1, HJK 0. Take that. And by the way, I should stress, I don't actually dislike HJK in real life. It's just a bit of a meme that's carried over the last couple of years of them beating me on loads of stream saves. So that's really what it is, my little bee in the bonnet about them. But there you go, lovely ball through from Terry Cloty. And Frankie Williams making that lovely run from midfield, getting on the end of it beautifully. Do you want to see a bit more out the strikers lately? Well, I mean, in the end, we just kind of did the business. Frankie Williams with the goal. It wasn't an overly emphatic win, but we just created enough chances, took the one, didn't really look bothered at the other end of things. It does seem to be making our strikers not really do a lot. And when Pritchard did go through twice in this game, he put them wide anyway. Frustrating that on that side of things. But once again, another win. It does look good, but I do wonder if it might be one of those tactics that might have its uses in certain games, but maybe not all of them. But again, that's 6 for 6 in the Europa League. That is very, very surprising, but very, very pleasing at the same time. We barely conceded a goal. Something about this system is extremely defensively stable. I know it's because of the extra player in there, but look at that. Esbjerg had 1 shot in this match, and we just dominated them. And yes, I know we had to rely on the set pieces again, but we still had tons of open play chances in this game. It's just one of those things, I suppose. Pritchard managed to score a goal. Carlson did as well. Luskov made his debut for us as well, and did okay, honestly, for the second half. I only made 1 sub in this game, and that was to bring him on. Well, looky what we have here. it's our youth intake preview. Goalkeeper? Okay, not really a position I'm particularly fond of, but top midfielder prospect. Go alongside Luskov, that could be huge. One of our wingers looks like a handy prospect. But not for us, he doesn't. And a striker who could be considered a fine prospect. 4 A's in there. And, you know, a B-rated fullback, which would be pretty solid. Any more after that? B-rated centre-back too. After that, it's absolute dross. But no wing-backs. Good. Fantastic. Love to see that. I mean, I just want one guy that's like Luskov-esque. That would be fantastic. And hopefully, it's another centre midfielder or a striker. Total aside from us right now. Things are going fine. This player. Look at the state of this guy. Sigmund Husby, he's 17 years old, and he's only been 17 for like a couple of months. I mean, surely he's the next Martin Odegaard. He's unbelievably good. This is one of the best regions I've seen in years at this kind of age. I can't believe it. And they got him from another club as well, which is terrifying. Probably on a free transfer as well. 9 grand! They paid 9 grand. I think I might be about to make quite a interesting decision here. Malmö are interested in Joe Pritchard, and it looks to me like they're willing to pay upwards of £7.5 million for him. And I've just found a Colombian striker who we can get for £800,000. And I'll show you a comparison now. So you'll see Pritchard has one better dribbling, but he has one worse finishing, and they're same in the first touch. Valencia's got much better passing too. His technique's a tiny bit worse, anticipation a little bit worse. Composure slightly worse as well. Decisions a tiny bit off the ball, relatively the same. Work rate higher. His acceleration is the same, but he has 16 pace. And I really do feel like pace can be absolutely crucial in the advanced forward role. Just that added speed to be able to make those runs. In addition, the price which we would be able to get him for is £800,000 on a cheaper contract than Joe Pritchard as well. I can get him on 5 grand a week. And I feel like I might be able to swap the two out here and progress potentially. And he's also 7 years younger than Pritchard with that room to grow potentially. And I do wonder if this might be the time where we could flip Pritchard on and bring in Rafael Valencia instead to have him lead the line for us. And it would really help us out financially as well and allow us to build this squad more in the future. Because I don't think Pritchard's ever going to be worth more than he is right now. And he's really struggling to find the net consistently for us, despite all of those factors. And I do wonder if an element of it is he's just not fast enough to keep that pace going when he gets the ball. I've accepted the West Ham bid. I think what I should have done was the reason I didn't accept the Molde one outright was because I didn't have the deal for the other guy actually done and sewn up at the time. So I didn't want to risk it just in case, because then we'd have no striker. But now we might just have to accept slightly less. But we need the money, and I think we just need a change. Even if I do get to sign this guy, he's going to have to wait thousands of years to get a work permit in Denmark, isn't he? So it's not going to be done. Even though I did it like a week before the end of the transfer window, he still hasn't even agreed to the contract yet. This could get a bit messy here, friends. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. So he's accepted the offer from West Ham, still hasn't accepted a contract with us, despite me asking him a week ago. The problem we've got now is if we don't let him leave, he's going to be an absolute walloper for the rest of the season. And he's not exactly been tearing up the world over the last couple of seasons, over the second half of this season. Okoye can come up there, Steenberg Johansson can play as well. It's not ideal, but I feel like this might be one of those ones where you have to take a step backwards to take a step forward. Even if we can't sign the Colombian guy in this window, we could still get him though. And this would at least allow us the funds to be able to do so. I'm going to do it. This is a risk and a half. Rafael Valencia. Oh, it's worked. Work permit. Hang on. Why was there no... I don't understand why. But for whatever reason, Rafael Valencia's been granted a work permit like that. Is it because we're in a I don't understand. Usually you have to wait like 3 weeks in Denmark to get a work permit, but it's going to happen. You'll see £800,000, 5k a week. He does have a wage clause like that, but of course would only put him on the same money that Pritchard's on now anyway. The contract is a bit short, but don't worry, it's got a 2-year optional extension in it as well. No release clause, no nothing. I think that's not a bad swap out. No, he has a mercenary personality, which we've got to be aware of. But I think it would be a nice little stopgap. Would tide us over, make us a little extra cash, and be left with a really strong signing. Oh my god, I can't believe that might have worked out for us. Boom. Oh, and he's 5-star potential. And he's not a mercenary. Wow. Our scouts are really shit, aren't they? He's actually fairly determined. Oh. That was when you roll the dice, friendos, and that one paid off massively there. So we've just traded on our striker that I'm struggling with a little bit to bring in a new guy who's 7 years younger, and I think is better, nearly as good already, honestly. I'm so happy with that. He doesn't have the consistency issues that we thought. This is ideal. I love that they got his personality wrong. That's a new one for me. And as a side note, that little deal we just did with both Pritchard going to West Ham and Valencia joining us were both the record signings and the record sales in the same window. Wow. That was a hell of a risk. Don't do that. Oh, and as a side note, look what that's done for our budgets now. 2 million in transfer fund and 12,000 in wage budget available. We've completely flipped the squad around. in one smooth transfer there, to be fair, and I'm really, really pleased with how that's gone. Since we do still have a little bit of time left, I thought I'd try out. There's this guy, he's got a £1 million release clause at Deportes Quindío in Colombia. He's a midfielder, but he's also a wingback type of player too. And I feel like, and he's a model citizen who's 6'3". I've put a bid in for him because I feel like, you know what, maybe now that we've got this cash, we could actually strengthen ourselves in this window, and wouldn't that be something? Plus, he wouldn't even need to be registered. Done. 1 million quid. I'm sorry, but I feel like the mentals and physicals on the guy alone, model citizen, he's going to train brilliantly. If he's got the potential that I hope he can do, he will hit it. And to be able to give us a backup to Terry Cloty as well, and a guy that can play in the midfield as well, I think I liked both of those things enough. He's a youngster with room to grow. I just think that I think selling Pritchard was the right thing for us. I hope that our new man, Valencia, can do it, and I think the Perez could definitely help us with that as well. And I think these are the kind of signings we have to look towards making now, and I think we've given ourselves time to do so. And maybe I blew the load of the money a little bit too quickly there. We still have a little bit of it left, remember, but I just felt like we needed to act here. So in the cup, we got our victory 2-0. Jukanovic from a set piece, and obviously Valencia with the penalty, but he had some chances. I ended up switching to our normal tactic in the second half, because I just don't think that this is the right idea for us. I think actually the Regista sort of tactic for us has its uses in certain games, but it just isn't enough when we're playing against weaker sides. I think against sort of stronger sides, it could have a feature when we're holding on to a lead, because it does make us incredibly compact, but we're just not as expansive going forward, and it really does free up Valencia. We've had to move the striker roles over again because Valencia is left-footed. Okay, so very, very interesting indeed. We managed to get the victory away at Odense, obviously, there, with Valencia scoring a lovely finish in the first half, and then Alessini Silla grabbing a late one for us. This is just cut matches, why I'm not really showing all the highlights, plus it's been a very long video. But also, I started with the normal tactic in this one, and then I switched to the Regista one in the second half of this game, and we actually got a lot better. I wonder if the Regista one would be a really good away-from-home tactic, because we beat FC Copenhagen away from home. We smashed, who was it? Gladbach away from home as well. We've just looked better in the away matches, and I wonder if that's because teams come at us a bit more and we need a bit more defensive stability, whereas in the home games we can impose ourselves a bit more. I wonder if we might, for the first time in years for me and FM, actually have a home and away tactical style. But yeah, thoughts? I think that might be the way to go with it, honestly. So here we are. Finally, I realize this episode's been a bit disjointed. I didn't want to just do those games and then have to do a whole one where it was just the winter period as well. I figured we'd bundle that in as well and then do a live com at the very end of it too. So that's what we come today, at home against Vile. And you'll get to see them properly in action for the first time today. So obviously I've had to switch the striker roles over because Valencia is fully left-footed, Carlson is obviously fully right-footed. So we've actually got a really nice balance of the two of them, and I think that alone could help a lot as well. So, selection advice, let's see. Assistant wanted a couple of little changes. I think Silla just needed a little rest, but Williams is back in there. Abule had a torn thigh muscle over the winter period, so he's really sort of not back to full fitness yet. But Valencia, he scored a penalty in his first game. I gave him that to give him a bit of confidence, but he scored a lovely open play finish in the second one. Just went through on goal, slotted it home. Really nice work from him, and I want to see more of that. But I feel like long term, he's going to be better than Pritchard, I feel like. Now, we failed to beat Vile earlier this season, and we really do need to do that again. We're on a nice little winning run in terms of our games now, which is nice, but I want to continue that today. Keep the pressure on the other teams at the very top of the league. We have to do that. Oh, Valencia's already through. He's already through. He's already scored. I wasn't even commentating because I don't normally do the early part of the match because nothing usually happens. But it is 1-0 to Suniuska. There's no way he's offside there. He's definitely onside. It's goal awarded 1-0 Suniuska. What on earth? From the kickoff, Vila have not touched the ball yet. I mean, this is a great sign. Carlson picks it up, just rolls that ball through for Valencia, gets it onto his left foot and slots it home. 3 goals in 3 matches now for Valencia, and the last 2 have been great open play finishes. This could be huge for us. Williams, at this level anyway, Jalonen slips it through again. Valencia back to his left foot, and he's scored another one. And that one's onside as well, surely. Suniuska 2, Vile 0, and Valencia has both of them. This is exactly what we've been missing this whole time. Ilsa, out wide right. 2-goal advantage. I want to really slam this advantage home while we can here. Williams finds it. Valencia's in behind again. He's through on goal again. Valencia gets the shot on target this time. It's in. It's in. It was a... Wow. Okay. It was because it was a shot before that. I thought it was just a random corner highlight. And Brandt has just headed it home. We really struggle with back post headers from corners. I need to look at who's actually marking people up there. Because you can see there's a mismatch now. And that's something we need to look at. Quadio. Oh, we are so close to nicking it off them here. And now we have. Cloty's fire himself in there as always. Gomez pops it through for Valencia. Back onto his left foot. And he's hit the post. But it doesn't matter. It's a hat-trick in 33 minutes for Rafael Valencia. On his league debut, he's gone and banged a hat-trick for us. It's 5 in 3 already for this young man. Well, half-time, I mean, that's just an absolute domination fest, really. 3-1 up at half-time. Valencia's bagged all 3 of them. 9.2 rating. He's just always available. He's always making runs. He's just... Something about him just seems to suit us, and I love it. It's just nice to see us not have to rely on set-piece cheese a little bit. We've got 3 good goals today, and he's been responsible for it. He reminds me a little bit of Koki Kawamoto in the early days, as Bexel's gone through for Vile, and it's 3-2. This is so bizarre, the scoreline in this match. To Gomez, all Williams is in space. Here he comes. Valencia's in behind again. Can he get another one? Valencia drills it home and it's 4. This man is absurd. It's 4 goals for Rafael Valencia on his league debut. He has scored every goal today and he just looks just absolutely outrageous. Pops it back through for Stephen Okoye. Oh, it's a great finish. Stephen Okoye, 5-2 to Sunioska. I took off Valencia just because he doesn't have the highest stamina, and I wanted to make sure he was rested out after the 4 goals, and Okoye just come in and done a magic there. Ilsa to Williams, and Okoye made the run. Ilsa to Carlson. There's so many runs to the middle. Okoye's another one of them. Can he grab another goal? He's dinked the keeper, and it's 6-2, and Stephen Okoye now has grabbed a pair of goals off the bench. That's all of those goals have come from that striker position on that left-hand side. Wow, 6-2. Makes you think that if we'd left Valencia on, the man could have had a double hat-trick here, but I just felt that he needed the rest, and I didn't want to overuse him because we want to make sure that he's fit and fresh for us. But it always just feels like having the strikers set up the way they are, with the left-hand-sided one being the advanced forward, just seems to work better. And for whatever reason, there you go. Sunioska 6, Vile 2. Not a hat-trick. 4 goals for Valencia, 2 for Stephen Okoye, all from the same spot, basically. Carlson was brilliant as well. We somehow conceded 2 goals in there as well, but what a performance. I think we might be onto something now. And obviously we've had false storms before with Pritchard scoring hat-tricks, but something about this today just looked different. They were getting through and scoring the types of goals I want to see from us. That was great. And we do also extend our lead over 4th spot with Orb. Obviously the gap at the top is still only 3 points. Us and Nordsjælland are massively in there. It is very much a 3-way title battle. I do wonder if Valencia could be the difference for us this season. He actually could make such a huge difference that we might well be in a full-on title battle now if he can stay fit and keep scoring at the rate, or not at the rate that he is, but just being consistent. Man's already got half the goals that Pritchard has in the league in 1 match. Mental. So that is where we're going to pick things up next time. Now remember, we were very good immediately after Christmas last time around. We went on a great run, and I really want to try and do that again. Now we don't know who we're going to be playing in the next round of the Europa League, but that's going to be in the next episode as well. All sorts of other stuff, but I mean, Valencia could be a hero. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this, and I hope you have, it's been a long one I feel like, but then maybe not. It's just it's taken me like 3.5 hours to record this. Drop a like, that would be fantastic. 300 would be very much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I'll stream on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, so go follow there too, and I'll see you guys soon. Hold your gun, capybara. Bye-bye.